I've started the recording. This is Design 301. It's our lecture for Tuesday the 21st. We are on Google Meet. So let's take a look at what's up for this week. I have not done the grading from Sunday. I'll try to get that this evening. And here I am in totally the wrong one. Let's get into the right one. There we go. So this week we're going to start working with drawing standards. I think everybody is getting pretty good at drawing lines and circles and using copy and trim and all that kind of stuff. And so the next thing is to start working on the basics of making it look right to the standard. So we're not going to really go over too much standards by industry, but the tools that allow you to make an industry standard drawing. And that's usually things like layers and colors and all that kind of says up here, layers, colors, line types, and line weights. How you draw and how it looks all means something in different industries. Even so far as to what layer something is on will make a machine tool or a sewing machine or an injection molding machine or things like that will make them all used, or a 3D printer will make them all do different things depending on what layer a line is on. So these are the starting points, and we're just going to give you the tools and not worry too much about them. So again, we'll talk about units. We at least know where to go to set units, but now we're going to talk about which ones are in there. Decimals and fractions and architectural and engineering. And of course, we mostly use inches, but you'll be able to do other things too. There's even parsecs in there. You could draw in parsecs, which is some huge astronomical number. And then we've got layers, which are collecting lines together and grouping them, and that group is called a layer, so that you can make them all look and act alike. To look alike, we set the color, the line weight, and the line type, and instead of doing that line by line by line, we say everything on this layer has this color, this line weight, this line type. So that's how they look. And then we can treat them all at once. We can turn them on and off. We can freeze them, thaw them. We can do it in a viewport or globally. So we have a lot of capabilities if we group things together. An example of that might be all the windows in an architectural drawing would be on one layer, so that you could either see all the windows all by themselves and count them and look at them and see them, or you can turn them off all at one time. Usually these are done by discipline. So all the electrical stuff will be on one set of layers, and all the mechanical stuff on another set of layers, and all the civil stuff on another set of layers, so you can easily control how your drawing is seen and shown to different people. And then text is just like all of the tools these days. Text needs to be organized and controlled in a certain way. And so we use something called a text style. And if you give a piece of text a certain style, you preset its height and its font and how it's justified. Is it stuck to the right of the box, to the left of the box, to the middle of the box, to the top of the box? You can do the angle. You can do all sorts of stuff with it. And so these text styles help you do it. And these are all little videos that talk about it. So you've got, I put all the videos here to separate them out. They are all in this playlist, I hope. Hope I got them all in the playlist. Okay. And so let's take a look and see. The playlist has drawing units, controlling line weights, layers, basic text controls, and text styles. So if you watch those, that sort of gives you the idea on the tool. It doesn't tell you how it will get used by a certain industry, but it tells you how to be competent with the tool. There's no reading list. Here are your resource files. And it's kind of, is that correct? I think that's correct. Yeah, there's a dimension template for you to work with. There's some layers, plate 2, plate 1, and a text template. So these are resources for you to work with. You can see on the layers, I'm going to want you to create a drawing with all of these things in it and make all these settings, and then take kind of like an image like this of what you've got. But of course, I'm going to want to see it in your drawing instead of just a little copy of my image. There's this horrible goofwad drawing that you don't need the dimensions. They're just there for you to practice drawing something. But lines are yellow and the border is dashed. And I've told you not to do the text. You don't need dimensions or text. Just having the two things will be enough. So you'll want to set up a line. And nobody would ever use this convention. It's just there for us to play with. And same with plate number 2. You don't need all the stuff on it, but there's an outline. There's the diamond. The title you don't need. We don't have a title on it. These center lines do get done, and the border white and continuous. So there's just 2 cool drawings to do, and then there's another template for you to work with. And I'll demo with those when we get to them. Okay, we have 2 postings. There's Welding Drawings have their own look. I mean, if you look at that, you go, ah, what does all that mean? Right? What does this thing mean? What does 2 poles mean? What is this funky, weird symbol? What do all those things mean? Look, that one's different than that one. So there's all sorts of stuff on here. What is that one? So there's lots on here. And you don't have, think about what you would need to know in order to read this drawing. This is a Welding drawing. And so there's a lot you don't know. And just basically, very quickly, tell me, what would you need to know in order to be able to read this drawing? Okay. Isn't this thing wild? So there's that one. And the other one is another workplace preparedness. And this is about industry standards. There are so many industry standards out there. There's no way people say, don't you teach the standards? Well, which one do you want me to teach? There's only 5,000 that I could choose from. And just this one, these are not even drawing standards. This is a mechanical standard. ANSI is American National Standards Institute. They have tons of standards. ASME, manufacturing engineers, international standards. I don't know what BDI is. DIN is a Deutsche Marke International Standard. No clue what that thing is. That's just some picture. Anyway, find a standard for Welding drawings. Just do a Google search, standard for Welding drawings. And then think about what keywords you use to have to really refine this down. And then using those keywords, what might you have to learn in order to understand those standards? I'm not asking you to learn the standard. I'm asking you to find out. This is one of those key things that the boss says, okay, do this and make sure you follow this standard. Well, and this is just thinking about a little bit. Okay. And so, I want it to kind of go hand in hand with the other one just a little bit. So there are two sides of this, of the same problem. Okay, and now we're coming up the submission template, and we'll start working through that one. Okay, and the submission template has even more stuff on it, actually. So you're all doing nice work with this, I think, I hope. This one's going to take a little bit of an idea, and there's a demo. I did a demo for you. This isn't actually in the, I should add it to the playlist. So here's just a thing, right? And it's and there's no sound, I don't think. It's just showing you how to do it. Okay, but here's the idea on this one. You want a line that's 16 inches long, and you're going to measure it using 3 different units: a mechanical unit, an architectural, and a civil. Those all are the same thing. So I'm gonna zoom in on it here. One foot 4 inch, of course, is 16 inches. 1.333 is very, very close to 16 inches. Okay, and so I want you to have a line that is 16 inches long, set your units, and do the DIST command and see how it comes up. This is about how AutoCAD talks to you. It's not your drawing standard, but it's how AutoCAD talks to you. Okay, so I'll do one of those in just a minute, but here's a demo for it. The next one is set these all up, and I think I've already given you this image to look at. You can see that. So just make a drawing and just go through the process of setting all these layers. And that's about 10 minutes worth of work. It doesn't take you that long to do it. And this is a very typical architectural drawing standard where you've got, let's go ahead and look at it, where you've got architectural layers, A dash, and then you have the mechanical layers that go along with it, and then you have the civil layers that go with it. So this is very typical of a complete sheet set for an architectural building or something. All the walls and the windows and the doors go on this one. All the piping and the HVAC and the electrical would go on this one, although those might have an E. And the property lines and all that go on this one. So I just want you to set up a drawing, and I don't want to just see this picture again. You can just copy that picture and see in there. I want to see it in your file that you've set it up. Okay, spend that time. This one's a little bit different. We've got a little template for you to go to and just draw these things and do the settings. This is left justified, 0.2 high, standard font with no rotation, and so you can just look at those a little bit. I'll talk about those. This one, again, this is a little bit different. In the other one, I was doing a distance measurement and AutoCAD was talking to me. Now, your units can be set however you want, and you can make your dimensions look however you want. So you're going to use a set of dimensions and then a units, say decimal inches, and then you're going to be able to go and figure out how to make these look like this. Okay, a mechanical standard to 4 places, to 3 places, and an architectural standard. And then you're going to get to draw these. Annotations not required. Annotations not required. Okay, so that's really what's up for this week. I thought I'd get into it and just get started with you. Okay, so I'm going to, here's this thing that shows you how to do it, but I'm going to demo it for you. And I don't care what layer I'm on or anything yet. I'm just going to draw a line that's 16 long. I know how to do that. And I'm going to zoom to it by doing a double click of my mouse wheel. Click, click. And then I'll scroll out a little bit. There we go. Now I can use properties and all that kind of stuff. But the first thing I want to do is use a mechanical. D-I-S. Oh, let me do my units. And set them for mechanical. That's decimal inches. D-I-S-T. From here to here. And you'll see I get this. It's 16. And if I pull that up a little bit, then I can let it stay there. You see what I did there? I got my mouse on the top of the command line, and I can squeeze it down and I can squeeze it up. So now I can take my snip properly. And I can just do something like that, or I can do something like that. And that's showing me that it's talking to me like it is here. Distance equals 16.000. I could do a nice job like that. And there we go. So that's how I would do that one. And then I would put this image on my thing here, right? So and my copy and paste is not working very well in VMware. Really kind of a booger. Edit, copy. There it goes. Got it in there. And if I wanted to, I could do even more, and I could do my units. And I could show that this was my setup for it. And so it depends on how you want to set it up and what you want it to look like. I've got 3 of them to fit on here. 1, 2, 3, something like that. How you want to present it. You guys do a nice job doing presenting all the time. So I don't really need to show you how to do that. But the next one then is units. So here I am. And by the way, I'm doing this all on VMware. The next one wants to see it as an architectural, I think. So I can come here and I can say be architectural. And the nearest 16th looks good. So I can go DIST again. And you'll see now it gives me my 1'4". So I could do the same thing again. 1'4", and I can put it over in my work. And that's how an architect would measure things. And then last but not least, if I type in units and I go engineering. So this is really weird. Engineering doesn't work right. AutoCAD actually has it wrong, and it's been wrong since forever. Civil engineers use decimal feet. Now, this is going to be kind of weird. You're going to see it doesn't come out right. Because 16 is 16 no matter what I draw. So I need to scale this now, right, as 16 inches, which is 1/12 scale. And this is really important to know. That's my base point. 1 divided by 12. Now that I'm talking about feet, I have to actually convert my drawing from inches to feet. AutoCAD does not do that for you. Other programs do. Inventor does. Fusion does. I think SolidWorks does. AutoCAD does not. I drew it 16 long, and if I change the units, it just thinks that I really meant 16 feet. So I have to change that to make it 1/12 as long. Let me show how to do that again. Scale, my object, click, enter, find where I want to scale it down to, right there. And I'm going to do a scale factor. I'm going to click over here and do 1/12 because there's 1 foot per 12 inches. There. Now I can do my DIST. 1.333 feet. That's kind of a mind bender, but that is how it works, okay? So there's that first one. And so when you start working on a drawing, that's the very first thing you check. What standards are being used and what are the units that the drawing author intended to use? And if you want to use something different, you need to change it. Okay? So that's drawing standards there. And if you've ever done work between civil and architectural, it's like, it gets so weird. And it's the same thing happens if you do things in outside of the United States where everything is metric and you have an AutoCAD drawing in inches and their machine tools read millimeters. So you have to do the scaling and know what's going on. Right now, just know that they apply and get your screenshots into this page. Okay, so our next one, that was this one where we did these 3 things. Look at the next one. Here, I want to create some layers. Okay, so I'm going to need to have that kind of available to me. And in the video, it shows how layers are used. I don't really care yet if you know how layers are used. I care that you can create a new layer and assign that layer to a specific line. Eventually, I don't even care if you can do that yet. That's down here. If you can make a certain line be a layer. I just care that you can create these layers. So let's look and see how to do that. Well, one way to do it is to take this. Let's see if I can drag this over into, I can't. Here it is. And so I can probably do a snip of this and put it right in there for me. I don't know why that just got bigger. There we go. So I need these done. So remember, we learned how to do line types. So I need continuous, hidden to, and phantom. And I should make sure that I've changed myself to inches because these are all in inches. There we go. And then I need to create some new layers. So let me do line type. I need to add hidden to, whoop, where'd I go there? I need to load hidden to, and I think that says Phantom 2 actually. So it won't matter which one you do, but it's supposed to be Phantom 2. I don't know why I cut that off. Those are loaded now. So now I need to create all these layers. It's under this thing called layer properties. And you see this box comes up that looks kind of like this. And for each layer name, I can set a color, a line type, and a line weight, and a whole bunch of other stuff too, but that's okay. So here's the new layer button. There's these little stacks of paper, like layers. It's the little one on the left with a little orange thing, new layer. And you can do Alt-N. But I tend to just do one in there. And so I want, looks like A-thin lines. I can be as careful as I want. I'm not too concerned right now. It should be red. I'm going to hover over the color, click on it, and red. These are your primaries. These match up with the old color pens. If any of you used to have one of the color pen plotters, these were the pen colors and in order. And you could do indexed ones. You can do true colors or color books. The true colors are the RGB. Look at all this stuff you can do. Oh my gosh. But we're just going to stick with these red. And it says continuous, and it says it should be 0.014. Now this is really interesting. When I make a new layer, it really copies my one that's already highlighted. So when I do make a new layer, everything comes out the same. So I just need A-anno. That's for annotations. Red continuous 0.014. That wasn't too hard. And I just clicked over here. Just click to finish it. Let me do the next one. A-med for medium. And that one's all the same. Now, see how this green check mark, that means it's my current layer. Anytime I draw, it's automatically assigned to my current layer. And I can assign it here, or I can assign it here just by clicking on it. Okay. Now let me do another one. A-thick. And this is really ridiculous, and this is why I know that you're doing mine. Because why would thick, thin, and medium all have the same line weight? Okay, so I'm not doing that much. I'm making it quick and making it easy, but I know that you're doing mine and not just importing somebody else's, because really thin is usually like 0.010 or 0.008. Medium is usually 0.014, and thick is usually 0.028. but I'm just having you make something. Now I want one called def points, and you can't actually make a def points layer. So I'm going to have you call that one no print. And that one, this little printer goes off. So now anything on that layer will show up on my drawing, but won't get sent to the printer. Isn't that cool? Now here's the other thing. That says white, even though it looks black, because I'm on a white background. Ah! Go figure. Ugh, I hate it when that happens. I wish they would fix it. They tell me that that doesn't happen. I'll send them a video someday. Okay, there we go. And depth point should be default. And you just so on and so forth as you go down. And then what I'd be looking for is a snip of this. And maybe even, a snip of both of those. This one's hard to catch. I have to actually go out of VMware to get that one. But that lets me know that I'm in a real drawing. And I would save this drawing as something maybe called standards or something like that. Save as, let me go find my week 5. I don't have a week 5. There we go. And then that would go in. Making sense so far? It's really not hard. It's laborious. And AutoCAD has many, many ways to eliminate being laborious, and I'm just not showing them to you yet. Mean for me. Because you really do need to have this skill. And this is an introductory class. So I'm going to show you these. And then later on as we go, I show you the tricks that get less laborious. Okay, so that one's set. It's all pretty straightforward so far, right? Now this next one is, there's a drawing template for me to get, so I have to go find that. Text template. Let me download it and then I'll open it up. Cynthia, yes.
Yeah, of course. When you open that plate up, I get something weird. How did you open it? Like it says, like use Adobe all the time, etc.
So you need to have AutoCAD open when you do it, because your computer won't recognize the DWG format unless AutoCAD is open. And then I dragged it into AutoCAD. So if you download it, you either open it from AutoCAD. Open.
Oh, Professor, if you're talking right now, we can't hear you, or at least I can't.
Oh, that's interesting. How did I click that one? So you have to have AutoCAD open to do it. It won't recognize you otherwise. Okay. So once it's open, I can drag it in, or I can do open and go find the downloads and get it from there. Okay, but if you just try to open it just for regular, it won't know to use AutoCAD. Does that make sense?
Yeah, somehow I copied it in, and even though I wasn't on AutoCAD, I had to, somehow I dragged it in. I don't know how I did it, but
Yeah.
anyway, thank you.
So
Yeah.
so once
Once.
I'll go ahead and mute you really quick. So once AutoCAD is open, you can go ahead and drag it in. So let me close it. So I've got AutoCAD open. I can hold it down from my bar and drag it into this area and let go, and it'll open up. Or I have AutoCAD open. Even if this one's not open, doesn't matter. I can come here and I can go File, Open, and open a drawing. And then it'll ask me to go look for it. So one of those two things. The best is always have AutoCAD open as you go. Now let's take a look at this. This is what I want to do. When I have a piece of text, okay, I can change how it looks. And there's justification, height, font, and rotation. And what we're going to do in this one is we're going to use the properties box to change those. Of course, you're going to find that that's pretty tedious. And later on, you're going to find out about that thing called the text style. But for this one, we're going to do it in the properties box. I'm going to go right click just out in the open area. And sorry, I'm going to click on my text, right click, and open the properties. So here they are over here. And you can see there's all these things about text right here. I can make this one bigger, smaller. And you can see there's justify, height, style. That's where you're going to set your font. These are all standards. Oh, I don't have City Blueprint in there. Well, we'll have to go fix that one. We might have to set that up. Your City Blueprint might not work right for you. And then there's also rotation. So let's take a look at this one. The first one says left, height 0.2, standard font 0. And that's what I've got. Left, 0.2, 0, and standard. So the next one should be left, 0.12, standard and 0. Left, click, 0.12, standard and 0. And now all of a sudden you see that text got smaller. That text is 0.12 high. My next one is left, 0.2, standard, and 15 degrees. Left, 0.2, standard, 15 degrees. Oh, isn't that cool? Now, I don't think I have City Blueprint in here. So I'm going to have to show you how to make a new one. Okay, so that's under annotate. This tiny little arrow. This weird little arrow. Text style. And the current one is standard. And so I can make a new one called City Blueprint. And I can change that font to City Blueprint. So now, let's see what happens. This is my text. Middle center. Oh, there's a new one. Justify is, there it is, middle center. Oh, look, the middle center is now lined up with the click point. Point to city blueprint. And it changed the font. Okay, let's see. Middle center, 0.12, city blueprint, minus 15. Okay. Style, city blueprint. Middle center, 0.12, and minus 15. Plus is counterclockwise, so this should be counterclockwise. Or clockwise, sorry. There it is. So you have a lot of control over your text, right? And the last one is right, 0.2 standard and 0. Standard, right, 0.2 and 0. So really, what might you do to take a screenshot of this? I don't know what I drew over there. You might take a screenshot of something like this that shows that you're able to work on these. Okay, but it would be better, of course, if maybe I did something like this one that looks really weird. And now I can get all that information out of it. I can even close these ones down. So that's really, there it is. That's my information. So that's showing that you have a little bit of understanding of the property box. And how you can use it to control your text. And you might even do, which one am I showing right here? That one. Something like that might work. And I'm not going to save that. Well, maybe I will. You should save, always save. So I'll do all the stuff I'm supposed to do here. I should be saving all of my snips. Are you guys seeing my screen? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
My my view looks a little bit odd, but that's okay. There we go. Now I have my view set back. Okay, so any questions on that one? Is that one fairly straightforward, I hope? That's this one, and there's your template. So now you know you have to open it in AutoCAD. Now here's another one. So here I have to go get that template. So now here's my dimension template. Click download in VMware. So that's the trick, is I've got all of this opened up in VMware as well as this. It won't go from outside VMware, like on my regular computer screens, to inside VMware. So I have to have this separated out in VMware. Now I can just drag it in. Here we go. Okay. So now I've got this one, and I don't have that dim style yet. But what should that one have been? That one should be four decimal places. So now again, if I click on this and I've got my dimensions open, I can come control it down here. Let me close these other ones so there's not so much stuff in the way. There's tons of stuff. Okay, but somewhere down here, in my primary units, I can set my units. Decimal precision, there it is. So it's way, way down here. I had to like look all over to find how many decimal places I was using. And I want that one to be 4. And I hit escape. And then when I click my next one, my decimal places should be 3. Isn't that cool? I can just adjust each one of these. And this one's really weird. I want my units I'm not sure I can do. Hold on. I might have to change my units to architectural now. I want ticks. I want lines and arrows. Extension line. Where are my? Here we are. Arrows should be architectural tick. And arrow 2 should be architectural tick. I may need to change this. See, it's not letting me make it. Not letting me change that. Okay. So I need to actually see if I can get my units to be architectural really briefly. I don't know why that one is stuck on there. I'm going to have to oh, here they are, dim units. There we are. I was in the wrong spot. Architectural. I was in my decimal there. So my dim units, it's dim units. Put this back. You didn't need to do that. So when you click on it, the one you're going to look for are a little slider over here. Dimension units. I was looking at that decimal. It's dimension units. And you can make it architectural. You make it fractional. You can make it scientific. There we go. And so you're just controlling these with the property boxes again. And what you might want to do is come down here and just be able to take a snip of that. Just get it turned down so that you really have it shown. And this might be your snip. Where this one is highlighted as architectural. And that would be my dim style snip. Cool. I think I made it through everything I want today. Yes, because next up are the drawings, which I will do for you on Thursday. Okay. And not too bad. So there. So that took what? Once you understand this property box, this shouldn't take you too long. And I've just done a little demo again for you so that you can see how to do them. Are there any questions at this point? Okay, then I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, yeah, Cynthia.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Then I'm going to stop the recording.